throw some racing clips and picks, and welcome to the first episode of the Outlap, presented by no one. Today we're going to talk about the F1 race, IndyCar race, and NASCAR race, along with some silly season stuff. We'll also give out our 3 stars and give predictions for the next week of racing. To start off with F1, they're at Canada today. It was a very mixed conditions race, which caused a lot of chaos. My race rating is an 8.6 out of 10. But still a great race. Canada, they always produce something. Something's always going to happen at Canada. Very rare they have a boring race. So today was just another typical Canada race. Rain coming into the mix, different strategies, not different strategies, but just how do you drive the track? When do you go, when do you not go? Just kind of that in the driver's point of view. Max Verstappen goes from P2 to the top stay of the podium. But it was not that easy for him. It was a very up and down race for Verstappen, up and down race for everyone. But we'll start from the beginning. Haas had a strategic masterclass that was practically for nothing. They went on their wet tires to start the race, moved up to like P5 with Magnussen. I think Hulkenberg was like P8, P9. Then right when the wets were just no longer a viable tire, I think they took too long to get off that tire. That they just lost all their progress and that got swallowed back up into the pack. Magnussen, he was up until P4, P5. He passed Hamilton and Alonso. But when it came time for his pit stop, he could have dropped down to P10, but they had a 5-second stop, which just erased all their progress, and it's just an uphill climb from there. Today was not a good day for two historic F1 teams, Williams and Ferrari. They both had double DNFs, and yeah, today was not a good day to be a fan of either team. Logan Sargent, he dipped his wheel on the wet part of the curb, I think, or wet part of the track, and just hit the back of hit the back of his car on the wall. Unlucky, I feel bad for him because he's trying to build confidence, and he already knows he's not here, next year, so he's just trying to not racing for fun, but just racing to prove that, hey, I'm still a race car driver. Alex Albon got caught up in an incident because of a spinning Carlos Sainz. Pretty funny given they might be teammates next year. And Charles Leclerc, I feel he should have stayed home today. Engine issues, he was losing half a second on the straight. Not fun. Then Ferrari's like, hey, we're going to try a gamble and go on the slick tires. It could have went well, but even they knew that there was a rainstorm coming. So, not a rainstorm, but 5 minutes of rain, which makes no sense because it's going to make the track wet again. It's not going to just dry up immediately. So very interesting strategy from there. I guess they had to. They were down out the points. They're like, we just had to try something. So I don't fault them for that. But yeah, they end up just retiring him because there's no point if he's a lap down. We had 2 safety cars today. Going back to Logan Sargent and Alex Albon. Very interesting race. George Russell on pole. He was in position to win this race, in my opinion. He just didn't take his chance, I guess. He let Max and Lando race him, He kind of just didn't take what he had. And he didn't really, he tried to force things like, oh, I'm the leader, I have to do this. But he didn't really let the track come to him. And he just couldn't get away. He was pretty dominant up until the rain stopping around lap 21. Then the safety car comes out. A little bit before the safety car, I think Max made a mistake. I think George made a mistake. So much happened. I just can't remember. Lando then passed him for the lead. Lando's leading again. It looks like he's running away from it. He's lapping 2 seconds quicker than Max and George. So it's like, another McLaren masterclass. Their updates have just been amazing recently. And then the safety car comes out. I don't know. They didn't really talk about or show it. I don't know if when it came out, Lando was already past, the pit entrance, or they just made him stay out. But that's where he messed up, I would say, because he passes the pit lane and then gets caught by the safety car. By the time he catches the safety car, everyone behind him is in the pits. So he had to pit pretty much and drop down to P4, I think. I think it looked like Oscar let him go to P3 because he knew like Millennium was faster, so he just let him go. Fast forward into the race, it's raining off and on. They're like, when do we get off the inners? Do we stay on the inners? Like, there's a dry line, but it's still wet in other places. So it was very interesting to see the strategy with that on who's gonna bite the bullet and just go first. Going to the slicks, the first person was I think Pierre Gasly. Alpine was like, we have to do it. There's points online. I don't blame them. They made a really great call when they go to the slicks, and then everyone else followed them. As Max took the lead, he kind of just, again, he's been in this position 59 other times and just knew, okay, I had to close this out. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm just going to take what I get. Russell was just panicking once he got out of first place. He was just panicking, like, how do I get back there, He dropped down to P4, P5 for a bit, had to pass back Hamilton. He got passed by his teammate Hamilton because he tried to move on Oscar Piastri and that just not work out well. He was able to get past Hamilton and Piastri to get P3. And I'm going to say something really controversial. I think this Grand Prix, showed that George Russell will probably never win a championship. I'm not saying he's not championship caliber. He is, of course, but it's just like doing stuff like that and not really taking account of, like, he was blaming Hamilton for the reason why he didn't get P2. And then just kind of just that, and then him just trying to force things, and then him just not cracking under pressure, but just like, I don't know. I think he might be a world champion. In my opinion right now, he just would never win one because he's not showing like the cool, calm collectiveness that a champion has. Like, if you look at Max, like, whenever something happens, like when all just goes wrong, he doesn't really freak out. Like, yeah, he has his outburst on the radio, but he just shuts up and tries to get on with it. Even though he may not win after after incidents like that, he still shows like, okay, I'm not gonna lose ever again, pretty much. Russell seems pretty nonchalant, like, oh yeah, we're underdog because we got the regs wrong. Oh, we're an underdog. Like, he doesn't really have that, I guess, killer mentality, it seems like, at this point. Once he shows that, and okay, it'll change my mind, but right now, I just don't think George Russell will ever be a champion. But overall, it was a great race. Again, just, quick overview. You have Verstappen P1, Norris P2, and George Russell P3. Going to some news, we actually got a decent amount of news this week. Sergio Perez stays with Red Bull. I don't understand this one. I get the reasons why, but this doesn't seem like the typical Red Bull we see. They're like, oh, we like the stability, and oh, he gets along with Max. Oh, like, I guess that's cool, but he's doing stuff that's putting your team at jeopardy. Like, I'm not sure. It doesn't really feel like they care about the Constructors' Championship anymore. I feel like all their focus is on Max winning the Drivers' Championship. They're like, okay, well, we're willing to sacrifice the Constructors, but I don't understand that from Red Bull. Other news, we have Yuki Tsunoda staying with VCAR, Red Bulls, VSCats, whatever you want to call them. Interesting move. I see why he did it, because there's no really other options for him to go somewhere else. I know he's still waiting on Honda to come in to save him, because he knows Red Bull's not going to give him a chance. I know Christian said, oh, we signed Yuki because he's making really great progress, and if he made it seem like, oh, he's up next, but you would have put him there already. You see what he's been doing for the past season and a half, 2 seasons, and it makes no sense on why you're just going to keep him there. I don't know, like, if it's just like they just don't know what to do. They couldn't come up with something with Liam Lawson. Like, I don't know what's going on. But he's still a great driver. With Yuki, though, I know it's just like he's waiting until 2026, because I think him going to Aston Martin, I feel like Alonso's going to be gone, retiring after next season, in my opinion. If he stays till 2026, then okay, he's got it. But yeah, with Yuki, I think he's just waiting for Honda to just, get that partnership started, and finally he gets to lead his own factory, parent team. He's not gonna be stuck in this junior team. Um, Other news, we have Ollie Bierman. It's not confirmed yet, but people are talking about that him going to Haas. I think it's a really great move, even though I'm not so sure of it yet. Like, yes, he had a great outing in Saudi Arabia in the Ferrari. Like, yes, that's one race though. I feel like we're getting fans and teams are just getting hung up on such small sample sizes now, where I don't know if it's kind of a play to just keep him happy and not lose him, even though I don't think any other academy is gonna doesn't really need him. Like Red Bull has Liam Lawson, Mercedes has Kim Antonelli. McLaren said they have the young lineup. Alpine, they're kind of figuring things out, so I feel like it wouldn't make sense for him to go there. And Williams, they're just rebuilding, so I think they want mature drivers now. Their academy is not anywhere yet, and they're not a top team. But let me see where he is in that F2 championship. Let me see the standings because I like he shows like he has ability. He shows he has ability, but when I think of a F2 driver going F1, I think of dominance. Like with Logan Sargent, he should have done an extra season, but I guess Williams was so under pressure to bring him up, even though Logan seemed like he was doing a second season, and then like October hit, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring you up. So again, when it comes to like these types of things, I feel like only bring them up when they dominate. So yeah, Ollie Behrman's P13 in the F2 championship with no podiums this year. His highest finish position is fourth, and he only has what seems like 3 points finishes out of 2, 4, 6, 8 races. Yes, 3 points finishes out of 8 races. Unless he goes on a summer rain tear between from Spain to Spa and just dominates, okay, he's got it. That he earned that. But right now, I don't feel like it will be a good move for Haas, Ferrari, and Ollie Behrman to bring him up right now because if he's going into the season with like very low confidence, then he's just gonna not make any progress. It seems like. So it's gonna be it's a very interesting move. We'll see what happens. So, but yeah, good luck to him. Happy for him. Another young driver getting a shot. In other news, it seems like Williams is in the full court press to get Carlos Sainz. I think it's between them and Sauber, but you never know. Well, Mercedes already ruled it out, saying, "Hey, we're focused on Kimi." Even though with Kimi, he's P6, but yeah, he's getting points finishes, but no podiums this year. Again, I feel like if you're gonna bring someone up, they need to be dominating. I guess they regret, not having Paul Aaron, even though Paul Aaron's not even dominating. He's leading the championship, yes, but no win. So F2, I can't tell if it's a weak class or just everyone's just on the same page now. It's just like you can't see who's the best because everyone's just like on the same page. Everyone's within a second of each other, so makes it challenging. And I guess the best out of the best will show out. But going back to Carlos Sainz, it seems like between Williams and Sauber, if I were him, I would pick Sauber because when Audi comes in 2026, they're going to have top facilities, top staff, top everything, while Williams is still rebuilding. James Vaz is always saying, oh, we're committed to this, we're doing this, but it's going to take 3 to 4 years for this to show because he's under the cost cap, so you can't just build this. Yes, like spend it wisely and knock over the budget cap and spend a little bit at a time. It's just not going to happen immediately. And I feel it might not cause a great dynamic because Alex Albon is like, I'm the leader of this team, but with Seitzkins there, they're both going to want to be the top dog. It's just going to cause chaos. And it's not worth it if you're fighting for P15 every race. So in my opinion, I think he goes to Sauber. He has the Audi connection. through his dad back in the day and everything else. And I feel like he would be the best option. I know Hulkenberg's going there next year, but he's a good B driver because if he needs to do something, he'll do it. If he needs to get some points and just do something, take control, he'll do it. But then he's content with he's a very content driver. He's not doing anything crazy. He's not risking things. He's just driving his race and just taking what he can. And then allow Sainz to just be the all-star, just to go all out, be the man of the team. And then, Hulkenberg would just be able to pick up his scraps and just take control if something happens. Last bit of, I guess, F1 news. I don't know if it's news or not. Jacques Villeneuve just spoke for so many people. The way he ripped into Daniel Ricciardo this weekend was what people have been trying to say but are too scared to say because of his fan base. I know Ricciardo's a great driver, has had great moments, but just he doesn't need to be in that team. That's a team to bring up junior drivers and get them used to Formula One. I don't understand the reason for keeping him around. I appear saying, "Oh, it's for marketing," but Red Bull's a billion-dollar corporation. They have the money. They don't. It's just, I guess, greed. It's not greed. I guess it's greed, but I just don't understand it. A great person for Williams, Haas, Sauber would be Daniel Ricciardo. He would be the top man of his own team, not just wasting a seat in a junior program. But he had a great P5, dropped down to P9. Very dumb false start penalty. He's too experienced to be doing that. It's kind of back and forth between him and Yuki. But from what people are expecting from Daniel, like saying, "Oh, he's next in line to go back to Red Bull with this fascinating story," he should be dominating Yuki then. And he's not. So I don't understand it. I think Jock was right with what he said. He didn't say anything wrong, really. And, even he said, "I lived through it." Jock Villeneuve had a horrible last 5 years. And he knew it. He knew he had to pack it up. Ricciardo just doesn't seem he wants to just let go. He's kind of just this larger than life image now, which I completely understand. I would probably do the same. So, good luck to him with the rest of the season. I think he might improve, not by much, but there might be some improvement. But yet again, you can only do so much. No F1 this upcoming week. We'll be back the week after in Spain. So I'll do my predictions next episode. Okay, let's get into IndyCar at Road America. This race started out just like F1, chaos. We had 2 quick cautions on lap 1, lap 4. People were getting punted left and right. Linus Lundqvist, who had his first pole, only got to lead 1 corner. Got taken out by his own teammate Marcus Armstrong. I gave this race a 6 out of 10, by the way. It was very slow. If Road America, it's such a big track that there's not a lot of close gaps happening. There's still battles, but it's not like bangers like, "Oh, this guy's passing this guy, this guy." It's kind of just very methodic, which kind of strains things out. I would say maybe for Road America, make it 10 laps less to cause some more urgency with strategy and stuff like that. But overall, 6 out of 10 race in my opinion. But going back to it, some of these guys were having horrible times. Colton Herta spun twice in the beginning, had a broken diffuser, but still came back for a top 10. So give it for him, man. The Penske's just being Penske, they were dominating this whole race. I think the last stint pit stops was what made this race, what gave me this grade for a race, because it would have been a 3 out of 10, but this Penske battle, it was like, who's gonna win? At one stage I was like, "Oh, Scotty Mac's gonna win." That was like, "Oh no, Newgarden's gonna win." Then kind of after the pit stop, I was just like, "Oh, Will Power's gonna win." It was insane. Different strategies going on. It did show though that Will Power did win because of the overcut. It was so powerful there. I do know Scotty Mac pit first. Then Newgarden waited a lap or 2 after and had a huge advantage on him. and then Will Power pit after and had advantage all over them and just controlled the race and won. Um, you know, this weekend kind of was not was interesting. It was kind of just like a typical IndyCar race. Guys coming through the field, guys getting dropped back, having to fight back. I do say I hmm, the tires are good. I feel like they can make an improvement with them, causing more disparity between the red and the black. It was a very black dominated race. The primaries. Um, I would say maybe for the red tires, maybe make just getting a bit more grip. And it's just like, oh wow, like I'm willing to sacrifice this to have this much grip and speed in this run. They still seem kind of close on speed with the two tires, but there's only so much they can do depending on the track and what kind of tires they bring. Um, Even though I did say there's a lot of spread out stuff, when they were close, it was like a boxing match. Like Kevin Simpson got sent by I think Connor Daly. There's just guys just sending at each other because they're like, we don't care. We're driving tanks. We're gonna just boom. So that was very interesting to watch. Uh, I'll look at the top 10 again to see if there's anyone crazy up. Yeah, anyone crazy up there, I'll check. So we have Will Power, Newgarden, McLaughlin on the podium. Fourth and beyond is Alex Palou. He's been very quiet this season, even though I know he's two-time champion. He's been very quiet, not dominating like he used to be. So pretty good season. Fifth, Kyle Kirkwood. Sixth, Colton Herta, who came back from the dead how many times? Seventh, Pato O'Ward. Eighth, Romain Grosjean, showing that Juncos Hollander does not have a bad car. They just need a better driver. Please don't attack me. Ninth, Marcus Ericsson. Still, I expect better of him. Like, he's not even top 10 in the standings, I think. And then 10th, Graham Rahal. Rahal let him in late. I was going to say RLL. RLL Racing, they're making such big strides. I remember I was in Indy a couple weeks ago, and we saw their new facility. It's just like, okay, they're invested now. So I honestly think, this might be a very hot take. Christian Lundgaard might be up there next season. Next season too, like when they get all their stuff figured out. But I think Christian Lundgaard might be the next star to come in IndyCar. Let's see any other notable finishers. Alex Rossi down in 18th. Oof, not a fun day. Christian Scott Dixon had a very unlucky race. I felt bad for him. He's down 21st. Nolan Siegel, 23rd. Good job, man. Still a lap down, even though he jumped in very last minute. I'll get on to that later after this review. The two DNFs were Marcus Armstrong, of course, just caught up in chaos, and Kevin Simpson, who got punted into the wall. IndyCar news. Not much going on this week except pure chaos on social media. After the last race in Detroit, incidents everywhere. Everyone was crashing. Everyone. A notable one, not a notable one. It was a very small incident. It looked like it was no big deal, but the aftermath was insane. Between Augustine Canapino and Theo Porcher. Like other times people have gone with Canapino, they received threats online after the race. Very unfortunate because it's racing. People, they all love the bumping and banging, but I don't understand why you would get so mad when you threaten other drivers, because yet you love it, but when it happens to your guy, you lose your mind. It was a very chaotic, past couple days. McLaren put out a statement. Juncos Holger did not seem to care. They just retweeted something the day after, and they put some, they retweeted and then put something very half-hearted the day after. Canapino and his wife were not making things better by liking tweets and very cryptic tweets. Augustine was laughing, kind of not laughing, but kind of joking at the replies that were making fun of Theo and the whole situation. just not really handling it correctly. Then when he was under fire, he made his own statement, and it made things 20 times worse. He was kind of just saying, I'm the victim because I'm South American. Like, no, you're under attack because you're not handling things like a man, and you're just kind of just not taking accountability. Like, yes, like we know you're the one not making the threats, but they're your fans. You have to kind of control them. Just at least say like, "Hey guys, don't do this. I respect this guy because I race him." You know. But he played the victim. Kind of a lot of the discourse I noticed from like the Canapino fans are like, their logic made no sense to this, but it was like, we didn't see death threats, so therefore they're not real. What? Who lies about getting death threats, man? So that whole thing was insane. Honestly, I was expecting fireworks with the race this week, but then a couple minutes before qualifying, I think, or practice, they said Canapino's not gonna race. He's out for personal reasons. I don't know if this is IndyCar saying, "Hey, you're making things a lot worse. You're not doing what we're saying. You're not gonna race," or he didn't want to do something that IndyCar told him. I don't know what happened. Nathan Brown from Indy Star said it was they made this decision like 90 minutes before they announced it. Like it was last minute. So they got Nolan Siegel jump in the car. He was doing his Indy next stuff, and he had to withdraw from that because he was like, "Oh, I'm driving an Indy car this weekend." Okay, but yeah, still good for him to get not crash, but at least learn. Canapino, I don't know what's gonna happen to him because let me see what's going on with Yuka's Hollander. I'm gonna look at my trusty laptop. But yeah, it seems like with this team, Grosjean or Isla were not the problem. I'm going to try to see the results. Here they are. So this season, Canapino is 20 points down on Romain Grosjean. And Romain Grosjean is not having a great season. He only has one top 10 this whole season. But still, he's more consistent than, Canapino. Going back to last season, Canapino was down 80 points to Cal Milot. I don't understand it. I know he was a rookie last year, but he's kind of saying, I have nothing to prove. Then why are you in IndyCar? You came all the way here to learn a whole new culture and language, and you're just like, I'm here, I have nothing to prove. Then what are you racing for then? You know? Um Again, I don't know. I hope Ilog comes back. It looks like he has potential to become a really great thing in this series, but I know he's enjoying sports cars too. So far, no silly season news has been out yet, except a couple of contract extensions from Penske. They kind of have their old driver lineup set up. Will be interesting in a couple years to see who replaces Will Power because I think he's gonna be done soon. But yeah, so far nothing. I've heard nothing on Prima with their entry next year. McLaren, it seems like they're in the way to get Theo Percher on the team, which honestly I think this might be the best career decision in his life. You're like, oh, he's not doing F1 though, blah blah blah. Okay. Would you rather be like guaranteed to be able to compete with your skill every weekend, or kind of just hope that your team builds a good car? And so I think he's gonna love IndyCar though. Before we get into NASCAR, I'm just gonna just have a quick question for you guys. If you guys, quick, not a quick question, quick request of you guys. Feel free to send in your questions weekly to the Racing Clips and Picks Instagram DM, Facebook DM, or Twitter DMs. I mostly check Instagram, but I'll send in your questions. I'll answer them. I'll give you my takes on stuff, and yeah, send them in whenever. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's get into NASCAR. Okay, NASCAR in Sonoma. I gave this race a 5.4 out of 10. I don't know if it's the car. I don't know if it's Sonoma, because Sonoma, name one memorable moment from Sonoma, not including Tony Stewart on the tire wall. Oh, wait. Yeah, just a typical, road course race with this new car. Car has too much grip. Um, I feel like this is the reason why we might need to introduce that talked about push to pass system in NASCAR. Um, this would have been perfect for it, but Kyle Larson wins again. Reddick was dominating early with this one, but I think just the just how the pit stops came out. He was stuck in 14th, waiting for a caution to count or something to make the people in front of him pit. But unlucky for him. Not a good day for JGR. From beginning to end. Beginning lap 1 or 2, Denny Hamlin blew up. Then a couple laps later, Ty Gibbs just kabooms the wall and just out the race. So not a good day for them. Going to the race, it was very meh, but then the end was chef's kiss. This is why I gave 5.4. It would have been a 3, but this gave it a little bump. Buescher was holding on for dear life. Truex was coming on new tires. And then Kyle Larson, Cliff Daniels made a beautiful pit call. He made Larson struggle so he could pit later. Larson was fighting for his life in the middle stage, like stage 3 or stage 2. Then Cliff Daniels says, "Okay, we're gonna pit now," and he was like a rocket. He was flying through. Back to Buescher just holding on for dear life. He gets caught by Truex, and then gets caught by Larson, and then just a little skirmish comes out. I think they get side by side, which allows Larson to capitalize. Buescher just had no tires, just lost it, and just fell back. Then it became between Truex and Larson, and Larson just kind of ran away with it. Then at the last lap, last corner, Martin Truex runs out of gas. He goes from P2 till last car in the lead lap. I felt so bad for him. I remember the crowd cheering when he crawls crawls across the start finish line, running on his battery. Not like the battery in your car, if you have a regular gas car. So that was kind of unfortunate for them. That just made it worse for Joe Gibbs. That was just not a fun day for them. Another one who had a bad day, Kyle Busch. This guy cannot catch a break. He's probably having the worst season of his career. Not statistically, but just vibes wise. He's running top 5, then gets spun out by Ross Chastain, and then he runs out of gas. I feel like the guy Rowdy needs a hug. Someone needs to give Rowdy Busch a hug. So yeah, that was not fun for him. Again, Kyle Larson just dominating. Kyle Larson, I think easily showing why he's a top 5 driver on the planet, no matter what he drives. Like, he may not win in, let's say, he won't do anything. I know he won't win in F1, but he would probably be respectable. We saw what he did in IndyCar. You saw what he does with dirt cars. You see what does in NASCAR. Like, easily maybe top 5 driver in the planet. I would want to see him and Max Verstappen go like head to head, like in like a 3 race, like one NASCAR, one F1, and then one like something. They both done sports cars, so we'll put them in a sports car. Yeah. Let's see what's happened. NASCAR news wise. Some news coming out with the Stewart-Haas stuff has accelerated things with silly season. If you don't know, it's been all over the place, but if you don't know, Stewart-Haas Racing is shutting down this year. After the season, all 4 charters are gonna be gone. So far it seems, I think Legacy or 2311, one of those two, one of the Toyota ones, gets a charter. Front Row gets a charter, and then Trackhouse gets a charter. It's gonna be very interesting to see where everyone goes. There's 6 drivers, all that could drive Cup cars. The 4 Cup cars and the 4 Cup drivers and the 2 Xfinity drivers. I can't really predict yet. I might make a video later on this. Front row, I think it's going to be Barry and possibly Barry. It's probably I think it might be either Josh Barry and Noah Gregson, or Riley Herbst and Noah Gregson. That's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes. I think Barry gets it, but if he can get the sponsorship for it, it's gonna be hit or miss if he gets it. I don't know where he goes. I don't know what his other options are after that. Um, I know it's pretty much a done deal that Chase Briscoe is going to go to Wood Brothers. That leaves Ryan Preece and Cole Custer, and probably Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst might go to either Rick Ware with that RFK affiliation, giving them speed, so he might go there or front row. Cole Custer, he has some sponsorship money too. I think he might hold on to the Haas automation money through his dad and Gene's relationship. So he could be another front row for Rick Ware or front row. So you never know what that. He may even switch to Toyota or Chevy. If another team gives him a shot. So that's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes. Gregson, I think he has the money. He can go wherever he wants. Looking at the legacy or 2311, let me check to see where that's. Let me check where that chart is going to. Yeah, it is going to 2311. With them, I think it's Corey Heim. I think they're probably gonna put Corey Heim in there. Again, him jumping from trucks would be interesting. I think he's in trucks right now, but him jumping up would be interesting. Like, yeah, he's saw me in Truck Series, but look at Zane Smith; he's struggling for his life right now. So I think it might be him. Maybe he can steal someone. I don't think there's anyone really worth stealing right now in Expandier trucks right now. So that's gonna be whatever. Trackhouse, in my honest opinion, I would probably put SVG there and then loan out Zane Smith to Expandy or something because he needs to figure things out. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he can't adjust or he's not a fraud. It's just not showing what he could be. So yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Not much other silly season stuff. I think the only one we're waiting for right now, like big wise, is Martin Truex Jr. If he announces his retirement, then that blows up everything for Toyota because I don't know what they're gonna do. They might just steal someone. Again, I don't know who you steal. I don't think anyone worthwhile is up for contract this year for them, so they might have to bring someone up from the Xfinity team. Even though I don't think there's anyone again worthwhile putting into that JGR seat. So we'll see what goes on there. Oh yeah, forgot. IndyCar no predictions. Their race again 2 weeks from now. We'll do that next week. For NASCAR next week they're at Iowa. This will be interesting. Iowa, we haven't been there in years, man. Have not been there in a while. We'll see. Let's see. Let me see who what it's looking like. Who's gonna win? Is it? I think this might be a Toyota. This might be a Toyota domination one. My prediction, my top three prediction, my predicted top three for Iowa will be Reddick, Hamlin, Elliott. I think that might be the top three for that one. It just feels like a Toyota track. I don't know why. It just feels like a Toyota type of track. This would be a great race. I don't know what to expect from this race. I don't know what tire they're bringing. Hopefully they bring that Bristol tire that I wish they bring that Bristol tire back or something like it. Expecting great race. We're on NBC now. We're done with Fox. Thank God. We're done with Fox. We are done with Fox. Say with me. We're done with Fox. So yeah, let's get into the 3 stars presented by no one. My 3 stars of this weekend has been Joseph Newgarden from recovering from a mega crash. The records came out today. He hit the wall so hard it caused 95 G's of force. If that's anyone else, he's probably not racing today. I don't know how he just have a concussion, but 95 G force hit, still finishes P2 in a backup car. Boom. Like, this guy's, yeah, star. Our second star goes to S1 Ocon, who goes from P18 to P10, survives the chaos, does what he has to do, making moves. He would have got P9, but Alpine, they're so angry at him. I didn't talk about this earlier, but he was P9, Gasly's P10. They're 2 seconds behind, and they tell them to switch positions. Okay, I understand that. Let him try again, but they're still like 2-3 seconds back from the car ahead, and they don't switch back. Like I feel Ocon is just like, okay, I admit my mistake, and Alpine's like, we hate you. Like, I don't know what else. I am glad he's getting out of there because that Alpine team is so disorganized and toxic. I don't think anyone wants to race there right now. Third and final star, Colton Herta for a top 10. I don't know how he got a top 10. Every time I looked at the screen, he was spinning or parts of the car falling off. Fought back for a top 10. Great race from him. And yeah, those are 3 stars. And here are 3 trash cans. The first trash can is going to Ferrari. I don't know what happened to them this weekend. They're like, it's Canada. We're not going to show up. I don't know why they hate Canada so much, but it looked like they did not want to be there. They were not having a good time. Strategy mix-ups, people weren't. It was a mess for them. Second trash can is going to Toyota engines. With Hamlin blowing up, Truex running gas. I don't know if that was a gas thing or something. I don't know why Hamlin blew up. I think he said it was the gear ratios or something. But again, kind of weird for that to happen in lap 1. And our third trash can and final trash can is going to IndyCar race control. People were getting punted left and right, and they were calling no penalties. I get the whole thing of like let them race, but at a point you have to take control or something. Like it's getting dangerous, So yeah, those are 3 stars and our 3 trash cans. Let's have a great week of racing coming up this weekend with Iowa. Should be a great one. Keep an eye out for some more content coming out. We're gonna do some spotlights, some driver breakdowns, and our weekly show, the Outlap. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week.